Now let's talk about the APC briefly. Their chances. What's been working for them? What's not been working for them?
Whether we want to accept it or not, the All Progressives Congress is a major force in this election, irrespective of how they have fared in governance in the last 8 years or almost 8 years. They are still a force. Reason being that elections in Nigeria, and I dare say all over the world, are really not based or judged on what exactly you can do. You've heard politicians talk about manifesto, and all of that. For the average Nigerian voter, out of, I don't have stats to back this up, but out of every 10 voters, I would think there's just one, or possibly 1 in 100, that really looks at issues. Most times the biggest election decider in Nigeria is ethnicity and tribalism. Where does the candidate come from? After that, you talk about religion, and after that, most likely the next thing will be vote buying, which is why there's been so much conversation about vote buying. The APC is the APC presidential candidate, I dare say, has the largest warehouse of funds for this election. I don't even need to know his bank account to tell me.
There's arguments based on that, because people will tell you that the PDP candidate will probably even change APC candidates' money. I mean, that's their arguments. Because I've even seen video of one of the daughters of the PDP candidate. No, not video, audio now, of one of the daughters saying something like, "Daddy has money," meaning Atiku. Daddy, if it's money that wins election, Daddy would have won election.
Both the APC and the PDP have money. They have more than the Labour Party. In fact, the Labour Party doesn't even come close at all.
Doesn't.
If money is going to be the deciding factor, Labour Party don't lose. If money will be the deciding factor. But the reason I was talking about let's use Nigeria Info as a good example. Over the last 3-4 months, whose advert have you been hearing repeatedly on Nigeria Info as opposed to the others? It's the APCs. That's money. If you don't have money to do that, you won't be able to do it. Compare that to Atiku's jingles or Peter Obi's jingle. In fact, Peter Obi's jingle just started coming in about a month ago.
That's right.
But we've been hearing, in fact, at the time he started playing, there were insinuations that it was Nigeria.
Like we just like him so much that we just want to play his.
Not knowing that now who bring money, bring jingle, we go play. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That for me alone tells you the kind of war chest that these guys have. But yes, I agree with you that the PDP candidate also has money, but I wouldn't sit here and tell you that he actually has more than the APC. Let's also not forget that the APC is the ruling party. Let's also not forget that there are about 22 states or so that the APC have governors, and a lot of these governors are backing their presidential candidate Bola Tinubu. So if it's money, apart from Tinubu's money, there are at least 20 state governors who are ready to back.
That will willingly.
Do you understand? The PDP doesn't have as much. The Labour Party doesn't even have a governor. So that tells you that for me, these three factors, tribalism, ethnicity, religion, and vote buying, will come into play. Looking at it critically, for tribalism or ethnicity, the APC candidate is from the southwest. He's Yoruba. The PDP candidate is Fulani. Is from the north. To a large extent, I remember when we discussed this during the primaries last year, I told you that my sadness for the 2023 election is the fact that it's going to take us back to the 60s and the 70s, where the three major tribes played, that regional politics. And we've been seeing it over the last 1 year, whether we want to accept it or not. There are 1,001 people who will vote the APC candidate simply because he's Yoruba. Whether he is good or not, they don't care.
It's another thing.
Same way, there are 1,001 people who are supporting the Labour Party candidate simply because he is Igbo. No two ways about it. There are also 1,001 persons who will support or who will vote the PDP candidate Atiku Abubakar just simply because he's Fulani. Remember that one of the reasons the PDP allegedly threw open their ticket was that they came to the realization that we are in opposition. If we want to beat the APC, the ruling party, we have to take this our ticket to the north. That was, see, whether they come out openly and say it or not, that was the thinking. They also knew that if they threw it open, there's the chances of a southerner getting that ticket, irrespective of how far Wike tried, was very, very hard. That was what Peter Obi saw and decided that, you know what,
he just left.
I can't do this because I can't win. So he left. So coming back to the APC, religion, big factor. That is the singular reason Bola Ahmed Tinubu picked Shetima, a Muslim. We all know that traditionally in Nigeria, you balance religion.
That's right.
If it's a presidential candidate that's a Muslim, you pick your vice as a Christian. That's what Buhari did. In fact, Bola Tinubu was supposed to be the VP candidate for Buhari, if you believe most of the reports. But they knew at the time that if they picked Tinubu, it was going to be disaster for them. That's why they picked a pastor from the Redeemed Christian Church of God to sort of balance that religious ticket. But Bola Tinubu in 2023 knows that he is up against. He knew already. Most of us knew already that Atiku was going to get the PDP ticket. So for Bola Tinubu in the APC, one thing to sort of see if he could cut the votes of the PDP up north in terms of religion was to pick a Muslim candidate. Now his calculation is, well, there's going to be a lot of shouting or hula baloo in the southern part, which we saw, but in the real case of the politics itself, I'm going to get the numbers there. And that's why you've seen him going in several campaigns trying to recite a section or some parts of the Quran. He's doing that to be able to bring people in. I honestly think that if the APC, irrespective of how they
will that work for them or work against them?
It will work for them up north. It will work against them down south. I've repeatedly said this. It's only in the southwest. The southwest Yorubas are the most religiously tolerant persons in Nigeria. In the southwest, you can have a family where the father is a Christian, the mother is a Muslim. On Friday, the children go to mosque. On Sunday, they go to church. They don't care. It's not an issue. I'm sorry, it doesn't happen that way in the southeast.
But you said I need to butt in here. You said something earlier about northern Christians as well. If it's and you said that it's not going to work. It's going to work for them in the north
for Muslims. That's why I said.
How about the Christians?
I think a large percentage of the northern Christians will, if they come out to vote, will not vote the APC. They won't vote the APC. I think that if, like I've told you before, they usually don't come out to vote. If they do, they will most likely not vote the APC. A large chunk of them will choose between the devil and the deep blue sea, which is Atiku or Peter Obi.
Just so we're clear, these elections, as you've said earlier, is not going to be decided by party affiliations. It's going to be decided by religious leanings, tribal leanings,
vote buying.
And vote buying.
Yep, to a large extent.